Certainly, a theme that runs through our readings that we just heard is that you cannot rush the kingdom of God. You know, there's no quick or easy path for a journey that begins in the desert. Often in the scriptures, however, a gradual pace leads to a valuable goal, and slowness suggests future joy. The biblical wisdom reminds us that there is no way to rush the arrival of the kingdom, as we heard in our scriptures this morning. The desert that flowers, a striking contradiction that we find this morning in the scriptures. It's prominent in the opening lines of today's first reading that Elizabeth proclaimed for us. As we draw closer to the cause of our hope, Isaiah today foretells that our apparent emptiness will be overflowing with life. The desert and parched land will bloom with abundant flowers. The biblical writers understood the harsh yet the potentially flourishing symbolism of dryness. The Gospel of Mark, for example, begins in the desert with Jesus' baptism and continues with his temptation in the wilderness. Throughout Mark's Gospel, while the desert is a place of trial, it is also a place of life. Jesus goes to the desert, as we know from scriptures, to find solitude, to pray, to teach, and to feed the hungry. For Jesus, this place of trial and temptation becomes a flowering desert. Matthew's gospel draws on Mark's themes, but adds a metaphysical dimension. John the Baptist, as we heard Deacon proclaim in today's gospel, is the greatest prophet, we're told, born of a woman, finds himself in his own wilderness, an isolated prison. And on this third Sunday of Advent, John the Baptist sends word from prison via his disciples to Jesus with the question, "Are you the one who is to come, or should we look for another?" You know, there's a sense of impatience or even desperation in John's search for a flower of hope. In response to John, Jesus describes a world as abundant with God's grace as the desert after the rain. We're told that the blind can see again, the lame will walk, lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear. The faith proclaimed to them. And because of this world does not yet exist, it might be tempting to take a critical approach and view Jesus' words as highly embellished reality. Instead, this week's Advent message reminds us to take seriously, my friends, the slow work of anything meaningful. Slowness allows Jesus' vision to bear fruit in our own prayer and in our actions. Indeed, the blooming imagery in the desert from Isaiah is matched by the restoration of humanity that we find in today's gospel. Just as Jesus' journey takes him through the parched desert, so his disciples today often follow a slow path through places that require risk and vulnerability. The path following the imagery of today's readings suggests that you and I, that we are called to serve at great personal expense through our own deserts. This kind of kingdom where the desert slowly begins to flower becomes a reality in Jesus' care for the least. Things of value, like the restoration of the dignity of fellow humans, comes about with the sacrifice of time. Knowing that this is true, my friends, let us continue to journey through the deserts in our own lives that someday will bloom.